guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working with this Isuzu Rodeo made by Matchbox. As you can see, I previously drilled it apart in a previous video. I'm removing the bond head screw. Let's take a look inside. As you can see, it's connected by two hooks in the back. White interior, blue tinted windows, and now let's remove the spare tire in the back. I don't want to cut off that piece of plastic, as it will help me install it back later. And by the way, my throat is killing me, so excuse my voice. Right, so let's install the windshield back in place. If I'm not mistaken, the original SUV, the back windows did not roll all the way down, but who cares? This is a custom, so I'm gonna be marking them and I'm gonna cut them off. I want open windows on this custom. So I use the Sharpie, as you can see, to mark, and later I'll make a decision how I'm gonna cut it. So I could leave that piece of the center, but ultimately I decide just to cut the whole piece. It'll be a lot easier. On other cars, when I do this, I take the cut further up into the roof, that way you can't see the border of the plastic once you install it. But being that this has that recessed area for the roof rack, I have to cut it right there, or I'm gonna lose that area. So later on I clean it up a bit. That way it's not, you can't see all that much when it's back inside the car. So using the same disc, I clean it up a little bit, and then using some fire, I remove those pesky little plastic hairs that you just can't remove filing it down. Little touch up with a flame or lighter cleans it up really nice. Of course, you have to be very careful not to overdo it, or you're gonna damage the piece. You can see the interiors are white. Let's remove the original axles, and I have here a brand new set of rear riders from my Hot Wheels, the Fast and the Furious off-road set. So they don't fit through the inside, so right now I'm trying to make a decision on what kind of a build I'm gonna do. Right there, right on the outside, it'll still rub. So I decided to create a full suspension with articulation. I have a few videos on that subject. Just to look through my my playlist. Now I gotta make a decision on this roll bar here, and ultimately I decided to cut it off since the front grille of the casting is so nice. It has really nice details, and you really don't want to hide it. Not very often do you have a car that has so nice details, and I feel like it should be able to see it. So now I'm just basically putting everything back together just to test everything, see how everything fits before I start painting. There you have it. I could have used bigger wheels, but as you're gonna see, I feel like this size works perfect. As you can see, when it's articulating, the wheel still rolls perfectly and it does not rub on anything, and it moves just like a real truck. There you go. And maybe you guys didn't know, but the first one of these that came to the States, they had a V6 Chevy engine, and later on they swapped it out for an Isuzu engine. Alright guys, so I decided to use this project to test out this Tamiya TS49 bright red. I have an upcoming project that I have to use this paint. Now, according to Tamiya, the website, the paint that you buy from them in a spray can like this. Let me read you what it says. Tamiya TS spray paint is a synthetic lacquer. So synthetic, it's not a traditional lacquer. It cures in a short period of time. The spray paint is extremely useful for painting large model surfaces, and it says that you can use it with enamel paints or acrylic, and that goes to show you that it's not a traditional lacquer paint. That's why you can mix it up. Now, I usually don't like using acrylic paint. That's why I don't buy their little bottles to use it on my airbrush. I've seen Paul from the Five Guy Productions, I think. He uses some kind of solution to retard the process of where the paint dries, and that's basically why I don't like using acrylic paints, because it dries too quick. So what did I learn? This is, by the way, this is the first time I use any type of lacquer paint. So this, just like enamel, does not like heat. Most of you know that I bake my customs, and a traditional oven only goes down to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can't leave it in there, because that temperature is way too hot for this paint, just like enamel. The paint will start to bake, to boil. Now you can put it in there a few seconds to help everything out, and this, like any other paint, you're still gonna get the orange peel, but not as bad as acrylic. And I can honestly say it's just the same as enamel paint. When you paint with enamel paint, this is the other red that I have. This is a gloss banner red. I also wanted to compare these two to see the color difference. You can see right here that the Krylon is a little bit more like blood red. So let me put this thing like this. Check it out. So I was getting the orange peel. Never mind the roof. I'm gonna cut that off eventually. The sunroof, what I do is I use a Sharpie, and then I use a clear coat over it, and it'll smooth everything out. But I was getting impatient, because that's another thing, it takes forever to dry. So I was getting the typical orange peel that you also get with the enamel. So I went to my Truant's tested polyurethane clear gloss. And you can see it worked beautiful. Look at that smooth finish. And here's a color comparison here. The Tamiya and the Krylon. This is a custom, of course. Custom Suzuki's Samurai I did a while back. And this is the new Matchbox Red. You see how different it looks. This is more like a burgundy, I gotta say. Either way, I think it came out very, very nice. Let's put this together. I think it's not bad for being the first time. Check it out, the interiors. I painted them charcoal gray because nobody wants to go out. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna have to install this first. Let me clean this up a little bit so it'll go through the little hole smoothly. Alright, here it is. Try to sharpen it like a pencil with my X-Acto knife. Sometimes when you do this, and I forgot to do this here, luckily it went back pretty smooth. But before you paint, you make that hole a little bit larger, because sometimes you'll run the risk of having the paint chipping on the outside. Luckily I didn't have that problem here. And a little dab of gel glue should do the trick here. We don't need a whole lot. Nobody's gonna play with this. I was gonna paint the base or the chassis here, but decided not to. That gray color looks pretty good to me. See the paint, there you go. The paint is a little bit thick back here. But it went through. As you can see, I didn't paint the axle tubes or anything. But here it is, guys. It would have been nicer if I turned that light on. Here is the Isuzu Rodeo Rancho Lifted articulating suspension. I think it came out pretty nice. This Suzuki, it's a lot larger than it really is in real life. Look at the big difference. And here's the front grille, like I was telling you about. That front grille looks just amazing. I gotta say, the two colors are very different. I like both, but I can see that this is way darker than this one. I guess for like a fire truck or something, this will work better, the Krylon. Yeah, but this thing came out super nice. I gotta get my display. Give me a minute. All right, here we go. Oh, this thing, it's perfect. More about the suspension. It's a little trick. The shorter the distance of this suspension wire, the stiffer it's going to be. Now I'm kind of regretting that I did it like that. I didn't want to mess up the Isuzu Rodeo name here. But if I would have came out like somewhere around here or here, it would have been a lot softer. So if I put it like this, it'll flex and it'll stay like that. It won't make a good roller because, you know, if you touch it, it'll flap around and it'll tend to hold the shape like this. If you know, if it's not perfect, that's why I usually do it like this, a little stiffer. But for picture wise, a softer suspension looks a little bit better. But you gotta admit, this thing looks sweet. Let me know in the comments what you think. As you can see, I didn't polish the window there. I mean, why would I? This is an off-road rig here. Let me see if I could get a good picture here. There you go. Alright guys, thank you for watching and peace out.